Hi, this is Sabrina with Shorts with a Side of Sass. And today, if you deliver for Uber, Shipped, Uber Eats, Shipped, DoorDash, Grubhub, any of those platforms, and you have a customer a couple of weeks back, I can't remember if it was Whole Foods or Fresh Market, I get them mixed up. I had a customer that um, the meat that he wanted in stock was not available. We substituted it to another meat, um, and it resulted in him being having to be authorized for an extra pound of meat. He originally was going to get three. This was going to get him four. He had no problem with that. And I've been doing the platform long enough to know how to go in and omit one and add another one altogether, to add another product to the person's shopping list. When I got to checkout, it got declined about 2 to 3 times. Reached out to the customer, let them know what was going on. Luckily, the patient at checkout was so patient. The checkout lady, beautiful, awesome lady, great customer service. Um, she said they had been seeing that problem a lot lately. And the person got a little bit upset with me and said that, maybe I can try again, things of that nature. Well, and then he said that it's already been approved on his end. Because as you know, you get pre approved a lot of times for a dollar amount. But once the shopping has completed and the delivery has taken place, there's a different reconciliation amount, a final amount, if you will. So usually that first general amount is canceled out. But when we went in, it showed that the meat was canceled altogether. So, to my defense, I'm like, okay, is this guy trying to pull a fast one on me? But anyway, point I'm making here, customers, try to show some mercy on your delivery drivers. We're out here shopping for you. We're using the wear and tear on our car, things of that nature. Don't look for any excuse you can not to tip your driver. This person tip baited me. The original request was for $20 tip, in addition to, I think, even 22 actually. I was only a mile away from the location, from the shopping location, and I knew in my spirit, I said, this seems too good to be true. It was only 5 or 6 items, but I'm going to do it anyway. It was for meat and some drinks. That was it. Not even an alcoholic drink, which everybody knows that does delivery driving for these platforms. That's a whole other, concept to try to, you know, um, get the license, the verification, all of that involved. And then the platform has given me an additional eight. Great. It was a great offer. When I went and dropped off the food, totally went out of my way, was delayed, had to call, support to go ahead and have this rectified, to try to get everything approved. Went through all that, went out of my way. I wasted about 45 minutes extra trying to get all this reconciled for this customer. Delivered the food. He only tipped me $7. Um, and in my spirit, I'm thinking, was he going to tip me at all anyway? Was that just tip bait to begin with, the $22 that was promised? And was he looking for any excuse to downgrade that? Or was he just not going to tip me anyway? And, that maybe everything that happened at the store was icing on the cake. And for delivery drivers, don't be discouraged. Sometimes when you go out of your way for people, you're rewarded for it. Or even if you're not, there's many times, 50% of the time, I don't receive an extra tip. But it just feels good to know the way that I want to be treated. I want to treat someone else the same way. So I try to extend that courtesy to people, even if I don't see it monetarily as a reward. But it's just nice to know that I did everything I could to go out of my way. But when someone does the total opposite and decreases what they originally promised because they feel said order took too long for whatever reason, hiccups will happen, whether it's the platform, the app, whatever the case may be. When I'm calling support, I could have done 3 or 4 more orders in that 45 minutes to an hour. But no, I spent all that time on your order for you to decrease my tip because you're a cheapskate and didn't want to make good on your word. When you promise something and decrease it, whether you're promising that original amount because you want that person to take that order because it looks enticing, or whether you think that, when things are missing in the store, people, it's not our fault. When things are missing in the store, it's not because we're lazy delivery drivers or shoppers and we don't want to go look for your stuff. Said items are not there. Regardless of what you see when you order online, many times these products may, what you see in line may be a separate inventory from what's actually in the store, but a lot of the customers hold it against the drivers and the shoppers as if it's us. It's not. It's not us being lazy. And I'm not saying every delivery driver or every shopper is like that, but 75% of them or more do go out of their way. But don't look for an excuse to tip bait your driver. Don't look for an excuse to reduce that tip. The other day, a driver came to me. She forgot my Gatorades. I texted her. Luckily, the app was still open even after delivery. I said, hey, you forgot my drinks. She brought it back about an hour later. And I knew I could have called the platform to get a refund, but I said, let me give her the benefit of the doubt. When she dropped my food off, not only did I thank her for it, I increased the tip a few extra dollars. Why? Because she went out of her way. Despite the hiccup that happened on her part, she still went out of her way to get the food to me. It's not in the hiccups, people. It's in the fact that people go out of their way to provide a service to you that you otherwise would have to do for yourself. Thank you. Have a good day.